Hey, good morning, guys. I'm Jan Pataputon, your teacher. This morning, I'm teaching from home because of coronaviruses. So I'm gonna talk about. By the way, this is a class on basic research skills. RBC 202 is a requirement course for the program on international um, business communication, or IBEC is a program offering at a Faculty of Arts, Chulkipat University in Bangkok, Thailand. And as you know, research is a systematic way to find out about something. So in research, we need to talk a lot about variables. Variables. Variables means a something that can be varied. Can be varied mean can have different properties like levels or layers or groups. Like for example, gender we can have male and female. So we have two options. By the way, nowadays people usually have three options: LGBTQ, male, female, and LGBTQ. Okay, this is the variable. So variable, what when we do a study, we look into variables, something that can be varied. And talking about variables, we usually talk about two kinds of variables: dependent variables and independent variables. Dependent variables is a variable that, as its name suggests, depends on the availability or the fluctuation of other variables. I mean, this is very simple. So I'll give you an example here. The relationship between the number of hours of reading, reading books, is a good way to learn. So, and your grade point average or your grades. So there's a relationship between the hours of reading and grade point average. So we look into these two variables. So we can say that there are actually two main variables. Your GPA is an independent variable because it depends on the hours of reading. The hours of reading is what we call independent variable, and the GPA or your grade point average is your dependent variable because it depends on the hours of reading. So because it is a variable, because GPA can be varied, like the high GPA, the average GPA, or the low GPA, we can actually classify the or categorize your GPA into three or four groups. Also, the same is true for the hours of reading, which we can actually categorize the hours of reading into different groups, like a lot of reading, moderate level of reading, little reading, and very little reading. And we actually form what we call a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a predictive statement of something. So we can say that uh, the hours of reading would affect your GPA. Will, if you are very sure, you can put a direction or positively affect the GPA. So this is very simple. I've just talked to you about research as a systematic way of doing something. And in research, we look into the what we call the signification of variables. And a variable is just simply something that can be varied, can be changed, can have different properties. And we look into two terms: dependent variable and independent variable. And I have given you an example on the relationship between the hours of reading and also your GPA, and also a hypothesis statement. I mean, a research study doesn't have to be this way, but this is just one clear example of what we mean by research in social science in general. I'm Janpa Thaputhot. I'm teaching from my garden, and this is my school. Actually, this is uh, it's a lovely Sunday morning. If you have any question, don't forget to leave your comments or your question below. And just for a commercial announcement, if you happen to like my video, you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Janpa channel, JANPHAN channel. So see you in my next video.